if they want to market their app, they list their app with us on Fuhla. So put in other words, Fuhla is basically a Malaysian app store. So if you can see on my slide, right? So these are the 4 main pillars that we want to help most app owners to solve. So firstly is actually capturing the right target audience. So which I mentioned just now. Most of our users, they can actually they will have to put up their profile. So for app owners or startups that have apps, when they list, they can actually target who they want to try out their app with. So the moment they put up their app on Fuhla, then they can actually choose even like where the users are, like for example from Penang or from Kuala Lumpur. So those who are actually, their profile is actually stated in Kuala Lumpur, for example, then only those in Kuala Lumpur could try out the app. So that helps the startup or the app owners to reduce their marketing costs. And also I understand that when a lot of startup, they start with their digital marketing or online marketing, right? They will first go to either Google or Facebook. But today, I also want to bring Fuhla up as a third optional platform for business owners, especially those startup with apps, to consider listing their app with us on Fuhla also, because it goes directly to Malaysian audience and it helps to save money. And at the end of the day, for us, why we built this platform is so that we can help startup or app owners to actually go to the market very fast. Because based on our track record, every time a business owner actually put up their app with us, right? It takes probably even like 1 day, they can reach up to 1,000 users already through us. So this is basically the concept for Fuhla. The reason why we actually built Fuhla for a majority of the startup or app owners is because we want to build a platform for them to actually share their marketing costs together. So imagine for Fuhla, for us to actually acquire 1 user, it can be actually shared among all other startups similarly on our platform. And then they don't have to waste money to actually remarket it. Like for example, a startup A would actually spend their marketing costs, startup B will spend their marketing costs. So rather than doing all that, we leverage on each other to actually bucket out their app. So that's basically the concept behind it. So for us on Fuhla, every time an app lists on Fuhla, right, we actually share our advertising revenue with our user. Meaning to say that those users that actually try out the customer's app, right, or the startup's app, we are actually sharing our advertising revenue with them. So if you are a user of Fuhla, if you download Fuhla, then and you try out other startup apps, we will actually pay you, and we will also pay you to share the startup's app to your friends and family. So that's basically the model behind Fuhla itself, and we are able to track if that user already have that startup's app or not. So let's say a particular user already have the startup's app, then that startup's app will not be able, the user that have the startup app will not be able to see that app anymore. So if they are a new user, then they will be able to see the startup's app and then download, install, and then try that startup's app. So we are actually allowing startups to actually acquire new users through our platform itself. And then this is actually how it looks like if you see on my screen here. How we actually do it is basically every time a client lists their app with us, right, they will be able to, users will be able to try the app out. If they actually click on try app, right, we will direct the crowd to the Google Play Store itself. So for any startup that has an app that lists with us, they don't have to have any IP integration. So no API integration or anything. So it will ensure very fast process every time a startup lists with us. So, and also from there, they can actually put up their promotion. And if they have a coupon code or a promo code, they can actually put it. And users can actually, the moment they install the app, they can also basically use the promo code from the app itself and try out their services or product online. And this is basically a view on all the users that actually, when they actually sign up a profile with us, this is what they actually need to provide us. So it's based on all this profile, we are able to actually help the startups, their apps to actually do targeting and also allow them to try out the specific app. So this is actually how it looks like. I mean, this is how we work. Every time a user tries out a startup's app, right? Once they install the app, they will get, basically, like I mentioned, they will get paid. So let's say, for example, 1 ringgit or 2 ringgit, right? Once the user installs the app, they will get paid half of the amount. And then the other half is actually prorated to 30 days. So in that 30 days, users are not supposed to uninstall the app, and they're supposed to actually open up the app. So if they actually open up their app for the next 30 days, right, it actually launches the app on their phone, and they will eventually accumulate the other half. So this is actually how we actually help the startups to market up their app on Fuhla itself. So this is actually how we do it. So, and also for most of our startup friends or even clients, usually we also provide them a dashboard. And from the dashboard itself, they can actually see like how many installs, how many downloads, people already tried the app. And also from the dashboard itself, they can see like how many people uninstall their app and who are these people. I think next up, we're also building onto the dashboard itself that the startups can communicate with this user and also their community. So those people who actually try out their app, they can also speak to them and also ask their feedback from our platform. So by listing it up with us, they go to market very, very, very fast. And these are basically some demographic of our current user on Fuhla. As I mentioned just now, majority of them are Malaysians or foreigners. So they're aged between 18 to 55 years old. But currently we are serving only the Android market. So but I believe most startups, right, when they develop an app, they will usually start from Android, then only they move to iOS. But Android itself consists of close to 70% of the market share here in Malaysia. And that's why we actually started from here. And most of our user behavior, they are influencers of their friends and family. When we first started off Fuhla, right, majority of them, we work with mini influencers. So the influencers range from, they have around 5,000 followings. So we invited all of them on board. So they are the ones who actually share with their friends and family. They build a community around Fuhla itself, and they get all their friends and family onboarded to Fuhla. That's how we actually built to 60,000 users in less than half a year. And also, these are basically our users demographics. So majority of them is 18 to 35, which is close to 60% of them on our platform itself. So our plan for Fuhla is actually to reach out to more app owners. So if you're a startup and you have an app that's out there and you want to go to market, especially a time like this, you can consider using our platform. So we want to actually invite more startups to come on board with us to list their apps, and also to leverage on this opportunity where we're heading towards 100,000 users. So you can leverage on us to help boost up your app. And we are also doing a lot of marketing ourselves, which we also, the moment we market Fuhla, that means we are also marketing all your apps. So we are also creating a lot of content on how to use different apps that benefits their life. I think right now for Fuhla itself, we are really booming at this time because a lot of people are online, and our content to actually help users to actually do, especially the apps that's doing food delivery is performing very well on our platform, and also logistic delivery, and even basically e-commerce itself. So all those apps that needs extra boosting, I think they can consider putting on our platform to go all out at this time. So I'm just going to share some case studies that we've done and what we have learned, and what you can use also as a startup. So this is an app that we help with, like for example, Activity. It's a traveling app previously. We help them to raise 6,000 new users, and that's between 1 month time. So all these users from Fuhla itself, when they try out the app, they actually open up the app 41,000 times. So this is basically, and what we do is also we collaborated our partners, our app startup owners. So when they come on board, we also cross promote them. So like for example, Oyo and Activity, we actually give out vouchers, Oyo's vouchers to Activity user and vice versa also. And we also work with, for example, Touch and Go e-wallet. So when Touch and Go e-wallet was actually promoting massively in Malaysia, we helped them to acquire and retain users also. So we actually helped 3,600 users to actually come back. So we actually do know who installed the app, who uninstalled the app as well. So for those who uninstall the app, we actually get them to come back. So we actually help app owners to retain users and to understand the users better. And last but not least, we also have like game apps that's actually listed on Fuhla. If you look, the reason why I put up this case study is because there's over 2,000 users that we help acquire for this game app, and that's within 1 month itself. But if you look at Activity just now, we actually got 6,000 users to install within 1 month. So why is Activity doing better than this game app? Is because Activity alone, we realized that users, they have phone storage problem. So that's one thing you need to know if someone that actually you want to go with the app startup, right? You need to understand all the phone models and phone features. That's number one. And number two is actually your app size. So we realized that most of our users, most of our startup customers, right, when they launch their app, their apps are heavy. So when it's heavy, they tend to lose install rate, and people will also uninstall. So basically, this is how we do it with Fuhla. So any startup right now that's watching this, and you have an app and you want to actually go to the market fast, so this is actually how we onboard our clients. First, we actually put your app up to Fuhla, and then we push notification to all our users in our community. And then we allow 3 weeks for users to actually try out your app, download your app, or even buy from your app. And then 3 things will happen, whether they install, not yet install, or they uninstall. So those who install the app, we will actually create a video to help you promote your app. And we will also do like email promotions such as this. So if you can see on my screen here, like for example, there's a promo code that you want to shout out. Basically, we help a lot of business owners, app owners. They actually put their promo code with us, and then we shoot it out to all our communities. So that's how we do it on Fuhla's platform. And second of all, those who actually not yet install, we will recommend them. We have a team that helps a lot of startup right now to reach out to the community and introduce the app to the public. And then those users who actually uninstall, we will actually dispatch a team to understand like why users uninstall the app. And then we actually create a report for the app owners to find out like why users actually uninstall the app. Every time a user uninstall, it's always a phone storage problem. It's always app too heavy, and sometimes there's actually hidden bugs that a lot of app owners don't know. So when every time they launch a new app, right, the problems that they are facing is basically they don't know which part of their flow is actually facing bug, especially when they are pushing up live new versions and latest versions to Google Store. So this is where we come in. We help to understand like why users uninstall the app owner's app. So that's basically from our side. And last but not least, basically this, for those who are watching today, we are in a tough time, and if anybody wants to actually promote their app or to actually push out their app to the market and list it with us on Fuhla, right, we can definitely talk. And definitely at this time we're giving out discounts also for anybody who wants to list their app, especially in the market currently. So I think that's from my side on Fuhla, how we actually help app owners to go to market fast, and what we have learned from helping those app owners, our current clients, to go out. So I hope today's sharing, I'm able to share something. So yeah, Tiva, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jess. And that was a very short and quick sharing, and very informative as well. Thank you so much for sharing about how Fuhla is helping a lot of people. And especially this period, many people who are struggling to bring their app up, your sharing will definitely help. So thank you so much. And there's actually two questions. And audience, if you have any questions for Jess, go ahead, ask about Fuhla, ask about anything that you'd like to know regards to apps and how the trying out the app works. So go ahead and shoot your questions. The first question is, what is this? What is the different from going to the Play Store or Apple Store?
Okay.
How is this different from going to Apple Store or Play Store?
Okay, so to answer that, basically right now, right, Fuhla is only on Google Play Store. Okay, we only serve the Android market currently. So that's number one. Number two is the difference is that, okay, you can download apps from Google Play Store, definitely. But if you're a user, okay, right now, if you're a user perspective, if you download a startup app from a Google Play Store versus downloading from Fuhla, you get much more from Fuhla. Right? For Fuhla, as I mentioned just now, we do share our advertising revenue with the user, meaning to say that if you try out an app on Fuhla, you actually get paid. That's number one. And number two, you get special discounts, right? Like I mentioned just now, such as this, if you can still see my screen, we like I mentioned, we work with app owners to give out promo codes. So when we work with the app owners, they do give us special promotions that a new user could try out. So basically, that's how we actually do it currently.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Jess. And how many percentage of users are active?
Okay, so our users are very active right now. So there's close to 60% of our users, which is really active. Like and our daily active user is close to 2,000. So every day there will be probably 2,000 people logging in to our platform, and every month there's more than 30,000 users that actually visit at least once on Fuhla. So that's why I mentioned just now, every time a new app is listed on Fuhla, in just a matter of days, we could have hit thousands of users actually trying out your app. And these are all Malaysian users. Yeah.
Okay. And one more question. Are you able to track and identify individuals who had installed the app?
Okay. So like I mentioned, you can see my screen here? Okay, so basically, so let me just bring you through a sample. So this is one of our clients that listed their app with us called iTask, right? So iTask is a service marketplace app. So here, the client actually they just came on board with us. So you can, from the dashboard itself, we will give it to all the app owners. So from here, you can see like how many people download your app. So like I mentioned just now, users will need to register with us a full profile in order to try out apps. So we will know exactly who is the one who actually downloads your app. Unlike Google Play Store or anything else, right? When they download, you don't get to know who are those people. So here we are able to share you some information, but the information we share with you are only their demographics, right? But like I mentioned just now, we are going to be building a feature where the app owners can soon communicate with these people who actually try out their app. So right now we do provide, you can see who downloaded, who even, for example, uninstall your app. So these are the people who uninstall your app, and you are able to see all those, even like how many already have your app before Fuhla, and how many open up your app, and also how many actually click on your app. So all this information is available to you through our dashboard.
Okay, anyone who wants to ask question, do ask in the Q&A session, so that it's easier for us. If you ask under the chat section, we might miss it, so we won't be able to answering your question. So just go ahead to the Q&A session and ask us your question. And that's also people asking about the charges for the app, and how do you go about the charges?
Okay, so basically, all right, let me just pull this one out. Okay, so if you can still see my screen, right, let me just pull this out. So basically, we have different stages of pricing strategy it really depends on the size of the app itself. So let's say if you look at this yellow one, if your app is under 10,000 users on Google Play Store, right? This will be the range of our charge. And then if you are more than 50,000, basically, or you're more than 10,000 and less than 50,000 users, then this will be the second tier. Or if you're an app that above 100,000, then you are at this tier. So it very much depends on the total number of users you want us to help you engage and the total number of installs, basically. So let's say if you are below 50,000 users, but above 10,000, and you want to order probably 5,000 new installs from us. So you will fall under this box here, which is 3 per install. So our pricing range is pretty much equivalent, or even actually at a better rate with compared to Facebook or Google itself, because ours is very, very, very targeted. So yeah, this is basically our price range.
Okay. And somebody is asking, if I provide mobile apps development, can we collaborate for B2B?
Oh, okay.
And if you like to collaborate, you can contact Jess personally.
Sure.
And how's the charges for company to promote their app, and the main user group are who? Okay. I think the main user group you did mention, it's 18 to 35, right?
18 to 55.
55, okay.
55 is the biggest chunk of users. So right now we have 60,000 users that any app can.
The charges for company to promote the app.
Okay, so as mentioned, these are the charges itself. You can see on
for company as well.
Yes. So these are for basically companies and startups. So it depends on how many installations they are looking at. Because this for us, our pricing model is based on CPA plus value, meaning to say that cost per acquisition plus value. So what I meant by value is that if you see here, so like I mentioned just now, if they actually install, so we will create video content for you. We will help you do email promotion. We will actually shoot out email marketing and also a very personalized engagement. We also have a team to find out why people uninstall your app. So we will do all that for you. Like I mentioned, CPA plus value. So those that we are doing for you is the value that we're providing. So that's what we mentioned by CPA plus value.
Okay. And how to fully convince the user to try the apps and install it like completely, instead of using 1 week and uninstall it later? Okay. So that's what mostly we do, right? We use for 1 week and we try out, we uninstall it. So their question is how to fully convince the user to install it completely.
Okay, so basically, right, this one, we have served a different range of app owners, and we have learned quite a fair bit on this. So for you, we have app owners which their uninstallation rate is very high, and we have app owners which their uninstalling rate is very, very low. Right? When I say low, it's around 10 to 15%. That's low, right? From based on our case study. And high uninstallation rate is basically up to 60%, meaning to say that somebody installs an app, and after 1 month, because ours is based on 1 month measurement, so after 1 month later, we have app owners which we gather the users for them, but 60% of them uninstall after that. We also have app owners which, users who install app owners app and then uninstall it. The uninstallation rate is only 10 to 15%. So why this range, right? So what we understood from calling the users and also to understand the users why they uninstall is because first, the bugs, right? I mentioned. Second, app size. If it's big, it requires a lot of phone storage. And then third is actually your value proposition. So some app, I've worked with apps that is actually photo book. Right, like photo book, for example. You actually send your pictures on the app itself. They print it out and they send you a book, right? The installation rate is super high because how often would you need to print a book, right?
I understand.
Right. So, but when we call those users and ask them like, why did you uninstall? They said, yeah, I uninstalled because I don't use it often. But if I ever had to print again, I will reinstall it. So promotion is very important as well. Some people do uninstall because of some storage problem, but they will reinstall again when
When they need it.
Yes. So I think value proposition is really, really important. Value
Okay.
proposition, app size, and at the end of the day, if basically your app itself serves the purpose of the user, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly. Yeah. So I hope I answered that question.
Okay. And next question is, are your users able to test the apps for bugs based on a list of tasks determined by us?
Okay. So I think one thing I really need to stress on, we are not a testing platform, meaning to say that we don't test for UI, UX, right? We are an app trying platform. It's difference between trying and testing. Testing is you go down to the details, the UI, UX of it. But when I say trying, is that we market out your app to real users, right? People who actually your customers, potential customers, or actually users of your app. So when the users actually downloads your app and then they find your promo interesting, they will actually use it. But if they face problem, then we will receive the feedback. So if we receive the feedback, then we will give the feedback to the basically the app owners itself. So I think that's the difference between us and also those testing app companies. We are not a test app company. We are an app trying community. Yeah.
Okay. Do we able to track the user behavior on the apps?
Okay. User behavior at this moment, we only provide demographics. So user behavior, like I say, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Google is already doing that. We'll leave them, I mean, they're at their best doing that, right? So what we do is we help you to market the app, get the users to install your app and try your app. So when they install your app and they try your app, those stats should appear on your Google Analytics itself. So you should have your user behavior there at your own app. So I suggest you implement Google Analytics or Google behavior, whatever it is, to your app alone, and then you'll get your numbers from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any performance-based pricing that is based on engagement rather than sign-ups?
Correct. So we do discuss with startups or even app owners company. So this is, as you can see here, the price here is a standard rate of installation price, right? So this is why we do discuss with basically app owners, right? We don't mind to break down the price, right? Let's say, for example, we do work with companies, app companies, where they actually have app flyers, and app flyer is a third-party software which they integrate with us, right? That requires some integration already. So the integration itself allows us to go down the funnel. So from installation to sign up to purchase, right? So if they actually do an integration with us, then they will be able to see how many users install, sign up, and go all the way to purchase. So from there, we can work out from this pricing strategy, we can break it down. Like for example, let's say if a startup is a first tier, right? If let's say they order 5,000 or 4,000 install from us, it will be at 8 ringgit per installation. For some startup, it's really expensive, right? So what we usually do for those startups, right, is that we break down this 8 ringgit. For example, if user install, 2 ringgit. If user sign up, another 2 ringgit. If user purchase, another 4 ringgit, for example. So these are the discussions that I'm open always to actually work with any startups that wants to actually explore this method. So, but we will have a proper tracking mechanism with the third party or even with the promo code. So that's how we are doing it right now.
Okay. We have a few more questions. Can keep the answers a bit shorter so that we can.
Oh yeah, sure.
We can be a bit punctual because of the timing. We have 10 more minutes for your questions. And somebody says that they joined a bit late. And does this cover only Malaysia or international?
Right now, we are only in Malaysia, but we're looking to expand further.
Okay. How about privacy protection? How can user ensure their privacy?
Okay, so for user, right, when they come in, right, like I mentioned just now, as an app owner, they will only be able to see demographics, right? So from the demographics, we don't provide emails or even contacts. We don't do that, right? But future, what we'll be implementing is a chat system where the user and the app owner can actually chat with each other with permission. So right now, that's how we protect our user privacy at the moment.
Okay. I noticed that upon sign up, email verification goes to spam email. Is there a way you can solve this?
Oh wow, that depends basically. We're still working on with our provider to make sure it goes to the right channel itself. Yeah.
Okay. Can we choose user who would download the app? Example, I want only business users.
Yes, you can.
Can, right? Okay. And why do you think app developers only allow the apps to store in phone memory and cannot move to SD card? Does that also contribute to the uninstallation?
Oh wow. That
Very
depends on the
interesting
user.
questions, Ajaz.
Yeah. That depends on the user itself, how they manage the phone. But average Android phones, right? I mean, in the market right now, it's not on a very big capacity. So it's you have to really stand out to be on somebody's phone. It's a premium spot like KLCC, you know. Yeah.
Okay. Last question. When you mean try the app, did you calculate the percentage of users purchase in the app?
Okay, like I said, I mentioned just now. So if there's integration, then yes, we are able to track integration with the app owner's app.
Mhm.
So, but if there's no integration, we can only release information such as how many install, open, click your app. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think that's one more question under the chat. Thought I'll just read it out to you. Is this platform only targeting new app by startups?
No, we are also opening. We also have existing app. So our clients like Touch and Go, Shopback, Easy
Mhm.
Buy. So these fellas, they're already big. They have millions of users in the market already, but they
Mhm.
still use us to source out new app. I mean, new users who haven't tried out their app. Yeah, so
Okay.
we're able to differentiate that and help save costs.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jess. And if you have any questions, maybe Jess, you want to give your email address or what, maybe they can contact you personally if they have any questions.
Sure. Wait, how do I do that?
You can just show on your slide or maybe
Oh yeah. Okay.
because it's still screen sharing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put this. Yeah. Can you see that?
Okay, this is Jess' contact number, contact details. So if you have any questions, do uh, contact her personally. And thank you so much, Jess, for your time, for sharing and taking this initiative to join SME Digital Fest 2020 Online Summit. Thank you so much. We appreciate your effort.
Both ways. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.